Good morning. My name is Paul Church from Clarity Crafts, and today on Clarity TV, we're joined by the lovely Deborah Wheeler. Good morning.
Hi everyone, morning. Thank you.
You had a good journey?
Yeah, lovely journey. Lovely journey. Yeah, first time in Clarity Towers. Feel very honoured to be standing here on this hallowed spot.
Yeah, no, I mean, once you're here now, that's it. We're not going to let you go.
I've got to go home tonight.
All right, then we'll let you go home tonight. See how it goes today.
The cats will not get fed otherwise. I've got to go home tonight.
Right, okay, we'll let you home tonight then. So maybe this is the first time of joining us on our Clarity TV channel. You can watch us via our Facebook page and our YouTube page as well. And if you're not tuning in live, then you can also join us on catch up. Just go to the Clarity Stamp or Clarity Crafts YouTube page and you can watch it anytime you want. So if you're watching us, it's 10 o'clock on a Friday, the 18th of October, but maybe you're tuning in later in the day. Maybe you're somewhere else in the world and it's a different time zone. So today, there's a couple of things we're sort of celebrating. We're celebrating Clarity Crafting, and we currently have a up to 50% off sale. So many of the products that I reckon everything that Deborah's using during this sale is half price.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Wish I'd known that before.
I know.
I'd have waited.
So what we're going to do, we're going to show you exactly how you can order. Okay. So on the side of the screen, as if by magic, there'll be a little product information that will appear any moment. There we go. We have the lovely Jilly behind that wall just there. She's going to bring up all the little graphics on the side. At the top, you have your product code. Underneath, you've got an image of what it is and a description, and then the price that you're going to pay. Now, because it's a half price sale, if you belong to any of the Clarity Craft clubs, there's no further discount.
Okay, so it's purely the half price.
It's purely the half price.
But that's still a fantastic deal.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
You know.
Absolutely.
And it's Friday.
And it's Friday, indeed. And it's foggy outside, so just stay in and craft.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's two different ways you can order. You can either order by going to our website, which is claritycrafts.com, or you can call Sue or Jazz on 01732 868 215. And all you need to do is quote that 5-digit number. So, for example, we're currently showing you the fantastic new calendar, the Linda Williams calendar for 2025. So the item code for that is 31715.
It's beautiful.
You haven't seen it, have you?
I hadn't. I've stroked it this morning.
Right, okay.
I had a sneaky peek. And stroked it. It is beautiful. It's so lovely.
So this is an A3 calendar.
Want me to hold it so you can turn pages?
So A3 calendar, which we launched at our parchment retreat on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, that sounded like it was brilliant.
Oh, it was a fantastic 2
days.
Good. And what we've decided to, I say we, the royal we, what Barbara decided to do, it's sort of like it's all about Linda. Okay, so it was so difficult trying to choose 12 different pieces of artwork. I can
imagine.
And the artwork itself is actual size.
That's cool, actually. That's really good.
It means that if you've got the plate, for example, you could overlay it and see where Linda's taken the designs from. Because what we've done on the back of each of the pages, we've given you what the design plate number is.
Okay, so if you wanted to replicate it and you haven't got the plates, you can order. What it is because you've got the product code.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Okay.
And these boxes are big enough to actually write in what you're doing.
They're useful, aren't they?
Yeah, really handy.
Because often you can just get a calendar that's just got little numbers on it and nowhere to write. So we're not going to go through all of it because I think that's the joy of getting it. But look at this one for February. Let's just hold that there.
That's so lovely.
Just like so. So maybe we'll have a look at that in a little bit more detail. No. $15.99.
Bargain.
Okay. Item code 31715.
But you think what you pay for calendars anyway that are just bog standard, factory printed, mass produced calendars.
Yeah.
I mean, you're easily a tenner.
Yeah. And these are all manufactured here at Clarity Towers, all in-house. Okay, so what have we got on the show for you this morning? So we're here with you at 10 o'clock today and also at 2 o'clock. And I've got to say it, Christmas is approaching very fast. It's just around the corner.
Isn't it something like 9 weeks?
I haven't even thought about how many weeks. You can say 9 weeks. So what we've done, we've chosen a selection of our favourite designs. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to start off with the Shack baubles. And these were designed, for those of you that follow Barb in the Shack, these were drawn, doodled together in the Shack. Okay, now normally, if you have a look at the price here, normally this would be £29.98 for both sets of those stamps. Okay?
Which is still a good deal.
Yeah, but you're only paying £14.99. So it's like buy one, get one free. Absolutely. So if we have a look on the overhead, we can have a look at what the stamps actually look like. So Deborah's got them there on the overhead. So this is the season's greetings.
Yep. So 2 baubles, an infill one that you can put your own design in, and then all these lovely snowflake and star stamps that go with it that are so versatile. You can actually use those on their own, and I know there are some of the samples.
That's right. And I believe this was one of the ones that was actually doodled in the Shack, wasn't it? That lovely lace effect, as if it's beaded work hanging over the bauble.
Yep, gorgeous.
So that's set 1 that you're going to get, and then the second stamp set is the Merry Christmas. Now this one gives the illusion. I remember my nan used to have them. They were like the blown glass that used to sink in.
And then there was an inset in it. Yes.
So that's
that one.
Yeah. And when some colouring in, so you also get your inspiration on your colouring on the actual packaging itself. So if we have a look at some artwork, so item code for that is 11674. And let's have a look. This one is from Andy Duggan. So it doesn't have to be crisp and clean. You can go really grungy with it. The background,
lovely background on there. And then this is masked and stamped. Actually, it's completely flat. It's not pieced at all.
It looks as if it's stuck on top, doesn't it?
But it's not.
Then we've got this piece here by Sam Crow.
Oh.
Real mixed media. I mean, queen of the jelly plate is that
indeed.
Sam.
But she's used the blank one. If I just bring that back in, you can see the 2 Sams used here are this one for there and this one for here.
And then
a bit of a stencil background
in the background with a little bit of jelly plate, I reckon.
Looks
the next one is from Elaine Milner. So more masking off, dangly bits added.
So pretty, and a few gems. Don't know if I can get those to sparkle in the. Don't know which way the cameras go. Just about, but they've got lovely gems in the centre of everything.
And then we have this one by Debbie McMullen. Now this one's just using the different elements to create a wreath, isn't it? And you've got the sentiment in the middle that's on that stamp set.
Yeah, so you don't have to just go with these build up. That's a brilliant wreath.
Yeah, and then this one's from Linda Spencer. Some sort of real pearlescent paint on there to give that lovely design. And then we have this one. This one's, I've got to stop saying, I get so carried away when I'm doing this show. Everything's lovely, everything's beautiful. But this is Dee Paramore. So she's created like not a gatefold, it's like a what type
it's like
fold?
A trifold.
Yeah. So
but
basically, what it is, if you turn it that way, that's how the card was started. And so
folded back.
So she's stamped on the inside, folded it back to create that lovely effect.
But that detail of that fussy cutting.
I know, Dee's great at that. Then we've got another one here from Debbie McMullen. So this is from one of the other sets.
Yeah, so that's the season's greeting set with that lovely beaded bauble. Beaded bauble,
yeah.
On a die-cut background.
Then we've got another one here from Debbie McMullen. So take your other dies and use them for matting and layering.
Yeah, and Debbie's taken the 2 blank baubles, one from each set, and then pop one down, masked it, and then stamp the other 2 behind it.
Yeah.
So, that's the other thing, the sets mix and match and work together.
And then we've got this one from Jane Telford.
Love
so she's
that.
done
love a bit
white embossing.
Yeah.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Right up my
and on the designer papers, so it gives you that colour instantly. And then this one, see, I thought this was a Jane Telford because it's got that lovely bright pink. It's been made by someone called Deborah Wheeler.
Oh, I know.
I don't know who that is.
Do you know what? I think this last year were the first sets that were released after I joined the design team. So this is one of the very first ones I did.
Wow.
Oh. And
Memories.
You kept it.
Well, of course we would. So that is the first bundle we have on offer for you. And basically it's buy one, get one free. So I'm going to just pass these over to Deb. She can sort of have a look at those. Then we're going to move on to the second collection. Now, this collection is the Builder Bauble collection. You've got 1, 2, 3 A5 square stamp sets, and then you've got another A6 stamp set. So this would normally be, as it's showing on the screen, £54.96. Okay, and the price is half price. So it's £27.48 for all of that. So 1, 2, so in here you've got 5 stamps, 6, so that's 11, and 13 on this one, so that's 24, and then 4 on that one, so that's 28. So you're going to get 28 stamps for all of that amount.
That's cool.
And if we have a look on the...
That's less than £1 a stamp.
I'm glad you worked that out. I could just about add up what it was we were looking at. I was
impressed at you adding up live on telly.
Live on telly. So this is what the stamps look like. This is the Christmas wreaths collection. Yeah, but they're not just for Christmas, are they? They're quite sort of wintry.
Yeah, lovely for birthdays. These two that are just kind of leafy wreaths. Yes. You could do so much with them. You've obviously got a holly wreath. Yeah. And then this one that is like one of those lovely twiggy wreaths that you get in garden centres, you know. Yeah. Just so nice, but yeah, really versatile.
It is. So that's one of the stamp sets in that collection. Then moving on to the next one, this one is the Builder Bauble. So talk us through this one, Deb. What's it, when you look at this, what do you see?
So what you've basically got is a background stamp to put your colour down with, and then 4 different toppers that overlay onto the background stamp. Now, you don't have to overlay them. You can use them on their own, and I'm going to do some pattern building with this set on the 2 o'clock show. But these are great for, so there's the little bauble topper there that just will sit on the top.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Build a bauble.
Build a bauble.
But it doesn't have to be a bauble. You could do it just with the circle and an overlay stamp on it. And I mean, that's obviously mistletoe, but these two, and particularly this leafy one, don't have to be Christmas either.
No.
So although technically they're Christmas sets, actually you've got a lot more mileage out of these. You know, they'll work all year round.
I mean, there's this piece of artwork here from Julie Dunn, and we can see that she's created a background with that stamp in the corner, hasn't she?
I'm going to look at that later. I think that's this afternoon as well, and about doing that.
Right.
The top are different ways of doing that.
So that solid stamp then that comes in that set will give us that background colour, doesn't it?
Exactly. So huge options then in terms of what you get. And I think there are masks with this set as well, aren't there?
I believe so.
Yeah. So then you can mask off your background.
No, there isn't
actually. There aren't.
No, because this is the Kiss range. So Kiss, which is Keep It Simple stamps. So there's no mask in this, but we do have the mask material on the show.
Or the moon masks.
The moon masks, yeah.
So I think the middle mask on the moon set just about fits these.
Right, okay. But you're going to show us how to use the mask material in the first demo, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, and then the next stamp set on this collection.
The Colour Me Rounds.
The Colour Me, this is about, I think Jazz designed this
collection. Brilliant.
And you've got all these different, and they're rounds, aren't they? So that really is the only one that's quite festive with a little reindeer in there.
Definitely. Same principle, a backdrop stamp for your colour, and then these pop on top. Or you can use them without. And it's lovely. This has got the guttering on it, like the backdrop stamps. Yeah. So you get an edge on this one. Yeah, that's Christmas with the deer and holly and poinsettia and that. But these, you've got spring, summer, lots of options.
And you can see here from that piece of artwork where you've got that backdrop in place, and you can just see that like white outline on there. And then that's using all of them.
That's got all 4 on.
Yeah, absolutely. And then this one is using one of the other stamp sets, which is the next stamp set, isn't it? The frame that goes around.
That's got the frame, but it's got just one of the colour ones. So you just see that looks so pretty for a birthday card.
I think that's a Debbie McMullen. I reckon it is because of the pico
cutting
dies on them. So again, this collection here, which is 11728, and you're saving, saving £27.48. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the final one in
onwards.
the collection. So this is where you get these sort of like semicircles, don't you? So you can create like an arch around your design.
So you can use them individually, or you can repeat them, and you can mix and match them. So this one, who did this one? Let me just see.
Tina Morris.
Is just used to frame around the edge of one of the bauble stamps.
So it sort of gives the illusion of like a drop shadow, but in words,
yeah,
doesn't it?
Yeah, but fits beautifully around that instead of stamping a straight sentiment.
And that, or getting a
Follows
straight
the
stamp,
curve.
and then this one is where you can see it's doubled up, isn't it, to complete a complete circle.
I'm going to use these this afternoon as well. So this one has had the dots masked off, which just brings it in and makes it smaller. If I show you this, you can see at the end of every sentiment there are dots.
I didn't notice that before.
And what you can do, you can either mask them off like that, or you can line them up and use the dots to overlay to actually make your circle.
To make it the complete circle. And I suppose also you could create sort of like there was a piece of artwork. Let me see if I can find it. You could do sort of like a semicircle, like arches, couldn't you?
Yep.
Here we go.
There's one where it kind of weaves across.
So there's this one here.
Here we go.
That Dee Paramore's created.
Let me move that one out of across, and then so you can see here.
So she reshaped the stamp as well to make it.
And look, and she's added one of the wreaths in as well.
Oh yeah.
So you've got that lovely curve running. I'm trying to think where the deer are from.
The deer.
Let me have a quick sneaky
let's
peek.
have a sneak at where that one came from.
The Wee Christmas.
Of course.
So the deer and the trees are from the Wee Christmas set.
Right.
And then a bit of blending, colour blending.
To create the illusion of the hills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
That's
brilliant.
lovely.
So creative.
And then the other set, which Deb's going to work with on this first demo, this is our Christmas windows set. So it's a set of 6 little windows. They could be Christmas, they could be festive, they can be for all different occasions. So I'm going to pass that to Deborah so we can have a look at that on the overhead. And the item code on this one is 11053, $9.99. Half price.
For 6 stamps.
I know. And these are lovely. If you're looking to make sort of, at Christmas time, you want to make quick and easy, don't you, really?
Yeah.
But when I look at this collection, really the only one in my mind that is really festive is the one with the shepherds in at the bottom. That one there, if we can just slide that up a little bit.
Sorry. Yeah, there we go.
So you look, the shepherds, but that could be for someone that's just had quads. Or there's twins in the family.
Okay, I might go with the Madonna for the new baby, if I'm honest. If you've got twins, I'd probably stamp it. If you've got quads, I might stamp that full time. I'm not so sure about full shepherd's ball. I try and be creative with how I use the stamps. Yeah. Well, it's a thought.
I reckon, yeah.
It's the thought that counts.
Absolutely.
But this is great for a winter wedding.
Yes, peace and love. This is Jane Nestorenko. Yeah. And then you've got the dove, which is peace. It could be used for a sympathy card, couldn't it?
Yeah.
The star, any form of celebration. The candle.
Only one candle.
Only one candle. There's no 4 candles on here. Now there's a lovely little set of I'll pass you those. This is lovely from Linda Spencer.
These are lovely because they show. Let me just move that out of the way and I'll pop these out. It's like I'm laying out playing cards.
It doesn't it? Snap.
Yeah.
But there isn't.
There is no snap.
No.
Because there's 5 designs here. Actually, let me do that. Oh, look at that. Isn't that a nice arrangement?
Isn't that beautiful?
So,
and these, I think it's a 4x4 card blank, which we'll also have on our website as well, because we've just started doing the 4x4 card blanks and envelopes. Yep. And but I love that you can just stamp it out. There's a little bit of possibly clear embossing powder on there.
Yeah.
Or what's that liquid that you can get?
Glossy accents.
Glossy accents.
Yeah, could have been done with that. Let me have a peek and see what if glossy accents. Very good.
Oh, that was a good guess, wasn't it? I didn't cheat.
But it's lovely. Just a bit of colouring behind and then over with glossy accents, and you've got this fantastic. Looks like the light's really shining in.
It is, doesn't it? So, I mean, we're calling them the Christmas windows, but these are stained glass windows. You could colour them in all different areas, couldn't you?
Yeah.
And I think we've also got these in stencils, but I just want to show you this piece of artwork that Jane Telford has created.
Move these.
Because what she's done is she's taken the stamp and stamped out onto some of our designer paper, enhanced the colour with pergolina pencils, but then she's also taken the dye with perga glitter behind it.
Yeah, so that's probably got
It's got the double-sided adhesive
double-sided
sheet on
adhesive
it to hold it in
behind,
place.
and then there's a fabulous
Look at
shimmer
that.
on that, if I can get it to go on the camera.
Yeah,
There we go.
It's got a real sheen to it,
Beautiful.
hasn't it? And then there's
Brilliant.
another piece here that's been created by Debbie McMullen, incorporating the dyes with the stamps as well.
Yeah, so this is the die around the outside, and then the stamp is fussy cut.
Yeah, well, fussy cut, it's an easy cut, isn't it? I wouldn't call
Absolutely.
that fussy. The baubles,
It's cut out.
the baubles that Dee did.
And then we've got there we go, shimmer in the middle.
Oh yeah,
the
some
star.
perga glitter on there. Now this one, completely off the track from Sam Crow.
Isn't it brilliant?
I know,
though?
this is using one of our, I can't think what they're called. It's one of our other dyes.
Oh yes,
They're
it's
like,
it's the oval pattern
yes.
die.
And then she stamped out the images and then just laid them in. There's the quads again. Well, actually, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What's that called then? Painful.
Yeah. It's called a headache. It's called What Was I Thinking Of?
But you can then also make, look, lovely little gift tags. So you can have your gift tags to complement your card that you're making. And then we've got one more. I don't know who did that one. I didn't look at the name on that one.
That was Julie Dunn.
And then the final piece we'll have a look at, which is from Jane Telford. So Jane's created a panel, stamped into the background, blended some color, but this is all flat.
Yes, so it's masked.
Yeah.
So we'll I'll talk about how to
use
the masked material for that.
So if you like that set of stamps, for me, it's not just for Christmas, the Christmas windows, the stamp set, because, as I say, the only one really is the shepherd.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you could think of something.
We might have
to
a
do
farmer
with
who has a birthday.
Yeah, or 4 brothers. They're all shepherds.
Who knows?
Now, I'm going to move to one side because behind me, we've actually got the die set as well. Where am I going to go? If I stand over here, okay, grab my piece of paper. Ginny will bring it up on the screen. Oh, there we go. I can't. Okay, half price, $49.97. Okay, so you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the windows, and then you get the nested arch, which has that lovely design from Jane Nesterenko in there as well. So you can see how the design team have worked together to bring, which one's got a little shine on it? There we go. I've got those on there. So if you like that one, the item code for that is on my list, 30709. Yep. I'm too far away from the screen to read that.
Read that far.
Okay. Now I forgot to show you these.
Oh.
Let me bring these back in and look at these on the overhead. I think this was Jane Telford. She's taken those stamps and made little boxes.
Oh, look at that. That is so clever. So they're stamped four stamps, and then let me come up, sorry, getting used to these cameras. And then a square on the base. So they're glued together and then just curved round, and a little hole punched in the top of all four.
To keep them together.
To keep them together. Aren't they brilliant for
lovely
Christmas table?
Yeah. I mean, I was using the
or actually ornaments on your tree. Look, that would look fantastic hanging on your tree. I had
the groovy gift bags on with Barbara on Wednesday.
I saw that.
And it's a similar type thing, but these are lovely little dinky ones. You'd only get, I'd say, 1 Ferrero Rocher in there at a push. I don't really get many more than that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So
I think you're right.
So that's just.
But that's okay, because you can give one just to a few guests, and then you've got the rest.
Got the rest of the box.
Very,
very true. Okay, so I think what we're going to do, so we've had a look at the stamps. I want to just show you the stencils. Let me grab the stencils, because if you like the Christmas window designs, then we also have the stencils. These are 7x7 stencils. Okay, you're going to get all 5 of them, the same designs, but larger. Okay, so I think our lovely Gilly in the background is just bringing up, I think she had the right one up on the side.
So you can see the size. And actually, if I bring in my stamps, I've got my stamp set here, we can
see the difference in the size.
There we are.
So these are
them.
great for all your inkiness and your jelly plates and your stencil brushes. And you're going to do a demo with this one, aren't you? With the stencils. Is that
Yeah,
this
I've got a
afternoon?
couple of demos. I've got one this morning and one this afternoon,
Right.
depending on how we go for time.
Okay, for time. This one is from Sam Crow.
Yeah, love it. You can tell, can't you,
can.
immediately that
So you
it's
can go crisp and clean or grungy. The next one is from Sonia.
This is a pearlescent paint sponged through the stencil onto a paper that's been cut with one of the nested
doodle dies.
The doodle dies.
Yeah. And then we've got one from Linda Spencer. So this really, I think, showcases sort of how it could be like the stained glass effect. And then we've got a texture in the background. I can't remember what this one's called. You're going to use the brick wall one later, aren't you?
Yes.
Stencil.
This is the stone wall.
Stone wall, right? Okay, yeah.
I think so.
Makes sense. Yeah. Stone. It looks like stone, doesn't it?
So actually, this is all flat.
Yeah.
It's been cut out with one of the dies.
Yeah.
I think. Maybe not. No, maybe she's cut it out because it's got a lip on it, and the dies haven't got the lip on it.
I reckon that's the stencil. I think
this is the stencil.
Yeah.
I was just trying to work out how it had been cut out, but I think it's been cut out by hand.
I reckon so, to give it that sort of really sort of antique
so it follows the
sort of look.
The window ledge.
Yeah. And then this one from Jane Telford. Now, Jane's used one of our postcards. So that's the Happy Christmas postcard, and then just put it in the background.
It's lovely, isn't it? It really makes that sentiment pop forward.
Yes.
So they'll be half price.
They will. Yeah,
well.
the postcard, all our postcards will be half price as well in the sale. And then this one, the final one we're going to look at, this one's from Dee Paramore.
Lovely.
Very sort of vintage, but still gives that message, whether it be for Christmas, a sympathy card, dove of peace, it could be for a wedding, couldn't it, as well?
Yeah. I'm thinking kind of church-wise confirmation, first communion.
Yeah.
It's fantastic for that. Actually, new baby. Could work.
Sign of new life.
Work for that as well. So lots of opportunities.
Yeah. So just to have a little bit of a recap then. So we've got 3 different collections on the counter for you. So the first one is the Shack baubles. So basically buy one, get one free. That's $14.99. And the item code for that is, where's my list gone? The Shack baubles. Yeah, well, I don't know why I went all loud there. 11674. Then we're going to move along. I'm going probably too fast. The next one we're going to move along is the Clarity Build Bauble collection. All of those stamps for £27.48. And then finally, this is where Deborah's going to head to with her demo. This is the Christmas Windows stamp set, and this is 11053. Okay, $9.99. So where are we hedding first on this, Deborah?
You're so much on the show. It was difficult to know where to start.
We've only got a little counter
I
as
know. But I thought we'd start with the Christmas windows. So your 4 shepherds.
My 4 shepherds.
Yeah.
My 4 brothers.
I'm never going to look at them in the same way again now. So I did this one yesterday and blogged it.
Okay.
And they're basically the same technique on both, but they look really different. If you just use a bit of designer card, it's amazing how you can switch it around. Basically, they're stamped, masked, and a bit of ink brushed on it.
Just like that.
Simples.
Yeah, and you're going to show us exactly how to achieve this.
So details of that are on my blog.
Okay, and what is your blog?
Oh yeah, deborahscraftyblog.com.
You had to think about that, didn't you?
I did.
You type it every day.
I hadn't thought that one through.
Right. Shit. Upstairs for thinking, down there.
Yeah. Cheers, mate.
Right. Okay. So where do we start?
Right. Start with a bit of paper. A great one for using up scraps of paper. Look, I cut several here, trying to decide. The trick with this one is to make sure you want a bit of paper that's light in the centre. So it doesn't matter if it's dark around the edge.
And this is all on one level? Oh.
Yeah. It's one level because I've masked it.
Okay.
So
I'm just going to zoom out a little bit.
I cut a few bits of my Antarctica paper, which is my favourite. So I've got lots of scraps and offcuts. So it's really just finding which bit you like. Let's go with that one.
Excuse me.
So I just cut them to size. You kind of want a slight rectangle because the
windows
aren't square.
Yeah. I know
See,
what you
I'm
mean.
losing the ability to speak now.
It's catching.
Right, I'm going to need my glasses for this for sure. Okay, let's find my shepherd stamp off
So
the
you've got 6 different ones to
mount.
choose from for £9.99. Go on then, do you want to do your maths? How much, I'll put you on the spot. How much is that a
It's
stamp?
just over 150 a stamp.
150 a stamp.
There you go.
There
Do you know,
go.
my dad was a newsagent, and that was my Saturday job, and we weren't allowed to add up on the till. He'd got one of what was then, because I'm a bit ancient, was a newfangled electronic till, and we
Right,
weren't allowed to add up on it.
Just had to put the total in.
Yeah, so I had to add it up in my head. And that was the days when chocolate bars and things were like 8p and 9p. See, I'm really old.
Wow, goodness me. Don't think you can get anything for that now, can you? Well, have a look in the sale. I'm sure there's something in the sale that wouldn't be far off of that.
Right. Okay. This is how I like to stamp. In fact, let me pop that behind it, which might just give a bit more contrast on the screen. So I've got my piece of paper cut, and I make sure your stamp's clean and dry at this point. But I like to line up the stamp where I want it on the paper.
Right.
And then I pop my mount over it. And the reason for that is you can position it. You can use your mount as a guide around the paper. Of
course, because they've got the laser.
So the mega mounts have got the laser, the lines etched on them. But it works with the handled mounts as well, because you use the edges of your mount.
Use the edge of those to
And then, because Barbara talks about not dithering when you're going down to stamp, because the ink, particularly if you're using archival or a permanent ink, it'll dry on your stamp. If you've dithered, that's why you don't get such a good image. So actually this means, and I can just about, there we go. So the lines on my mega mount, these are the 4x4.
I reckon,
I think there's 3 in a set of those.
Well, they'll all be in the sale.
Yeah, but you get 3 mounts in a set.
Yeah, there's various different combinations. Yeah.
So now she says confidently, when I've inked it, I can go straight back down with it.
Right, because you're using the etched line on the mega mount for your positioning.
Correct.
And if you've got a stamp positioner at home, those stamping platforms, you could use that as well, couldn't you?
Yeah, particularly if you're batch making. That's quite good if you've got it and then you're not lining up every time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use VersaFine Clair ink,
right,
because I want to heat emboss this with clear powder.
Right.
And the reason for that is it just makes your image darker against the pattern paper. It kind of enhances it a bit.
Yeah. So it's a black ink pad, and so you're going to use clear embossing powder then?
Clear embossing powder.
Right, okay.
So VersaFine Clair is doesn't dry as fast as the archival. So you can emboss with it. You can emboss with archival, but you have to be fast.
Very quick, don't you? Okay.
So having done all that spiel about how to line up your stamp, let's make sure I get it on straight. Yeah.
It's live TV.
Hey. Oh, don't worry, we'll edit it out.
Exactly. Jim will work
Once
his magic and here's one I made earlier.
Yeah, good press down. Make sure you press your stamps in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you know the edges will go down, because that's often where. And the other thing I'd say is if you find your image doesn't come out properly, doesn't necessarily mean that you're not any good. It might be that you need a new ink pad.
A new ink pad, yeah, or you haven't put, especially on some larger stamps, maybe you haven't necessarily got the right pressure in the right places.
Yep. Okay. I hope this doesn't send the camera squiffy.
It should be fine because we've got a lot of colour around the outside.
And chuck clear powder over it.
Okay.
Knock it off. Jane Telford will be shouting at the screen now, because what I forgot to do was go over my paper with a anti-static pad. Sorry, Jane. Never mind. It'll be okay. Right, let's tip that back in there. It'll have that grunge
effect, won't it?
It will. It will. If you do that, as I am known to do, just run your finger around gently.
You'll feel the granules.
You'll feel it, and they'll wipe off. Or get a paintbrush.
Yeah.
And then give it a good blow. But actually, there doesn't seem to be too much on there. So if you want to talk, keep this away from my microphone, Paul, because I'm just going to heat emboss. I'm going to heat emboss this now.
Right.
To melt the powder.
Right, okay. So the set that Deborah's using now, this is the Christmas windows. The item code for this is 11053. Half price. What a better time to take advantage of stocking up for Christmas. Many of our friends at home have already started making, some people, they make a couple of Christmas cards each month, don't they? so it doesn't become too overwhelming nearer the time.
Yep.
Me, last minute job, day before Christmas Eve, I've got to make all my Christmas cards. But if you've got these particular stamps, they're wrong camera. They're so achievable. That little set of the 4x4s, so achievable. You could put this on the 4x4, couldn't you?
Oh yeah,
that would look lovely on there.
Perfect.
Yeah,
it's a perfect fit. But actually, I haven't got. Right, I've got a couple here. I'm going to colour them in, but I've got a couple here that I what I did
I was going to
earlier.
say, because it doesn't look. They don't look the same, because for me, I thought this was stuck on.
Right. So we'll come to how you darken that. But let me just show you these.
Yeah.
And you can see the difference. This one isn't heat embossed.
Right.
And this one is. And can you see how the window looks blacker?
Thickness. Yeah. And the thickness
just a bit
of
thicker.
the line. Yeah.
Yeah. So particularly if you're on a designer paper, you want the frame to stand out more. It's a really useful way to get it to stand out.
I'm sure we've definitely got clear embossing powder on our website, and maybe Gilly will be able to find the number for that. We do the wow.
That's what I
ultra
love.
fine embossing powder, the fine detail.
Yeah.
And I mean, it won't be half price, but it will definitely be discounted in the sale if you're looking for some topping up your embossing powders.
So what I did then for this one was I wanted to darken it around the window, so it just makes the image pop a little bit more. So to do that, you need a mask.
Right. Okay. So
on the
mask
as I'm in Kent.
Mask.
Or the mask.
Potatoes. So we've got a pack of A6 masks on the show. I mean, we'll do the A5 as well. The A6 mask, the item number for that is 31686. And instead of being £3.99, special price is £2. There we go. Julie's kindly popped that up on the screen for. So it is, as it said, it's up to 50% off across the Clarity Crafts website. Excellent. Which is crazy.
It's really good.
Happy Christmas, everybody.
Good. Indeed. So I made a mask for it with the mask material.
Okay.
So let's just recap how you do that.
Yeah. Maybe some of our friends are tuning in for the first time.
Yep. So you'll need your stamp again.
Yeah.
Now the mask material is reusable, so is plastic. So if you try and stamp on that, it's just going to smudge off. I mean, I suppose it will dry eventually, but you might need to give it about 3 days.
3 months.
Ain't a lot of use if you're
how
making
wet your ink pad is. Yeah.
But even so, and you know, it's shiny and slidey. You'll never get a clear impression. No. So I'm just going to re-ink this.
Okay. Gilly's popped up the item codes in the chat for those little 4x4 card blanks. So if you're interested, I think they come with envelopes. So I think it's a pack of 10. Gilly will correct me if I'm wrong. And the item code for those are 31685.
Right. Normally I'd cut this with my paper trimmer, but needs must.
Okay.
I'd cut off a bit that's about the right size, slightly bigger, because actually you might want the surround at some point as well.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, that will do.
Okay.
Peel it off the carrier sheet.
Yeah. Talk amongst yourselves.
It'll come off.
It's always the way. It's like trying to take, when you're doing TV and you try to take the backing off of double-sided adhesive sheet.
It'll never shift.
No, especially the high-tack tape as well. Okay, so you've taken the backing off.
Yeah.
And you're now.
So I've stamped it on a bit of scrap paper, and then I've put the mask material over the image, so I can see the image through it beautifully.
Yes.
And then all I need to do is cut round it.
And so this blank mask material is going to work with any other stamps that you have in your collection. So, for example, if you decided that you wanted to go for the Build a Bauble collection, then you could create your own masks for those as well. You could.
I might, if the moon masks don't fit the rounds, and I can't remember off the top of my head, the nested dies, the circle nested dies.
Course, so you could die cut the mask material.
The trouble with I find the difficulty with hand cutting, unless you're really good, a circle is you never get a perfect circle.
No.
So if I wanted a circle, I would use the die.
Yeah. What sometimes the obvious isn't obvious until someone
No,
suggests it.
not at
I would
all.
have gone with the scissors and
Yeah,
had a
yeah, and
wonky
just
circle, but it probably would have been sufficient for what I wanted it to. But we've got the lovely fresh cut nested circle dies, and they will definitely be half price in the Clarity Crafting Celebration sale.
Yeah, I'm just going to rescue this. I've missed a corner on the
Okay.
heat embossing.
So while Debs is doing that, so Debs is currently looking at the Christmas window stamp set, item code 11053. If you like the look of your Build a Bauble collection, then the item code for that is 11728. And then if you want your instant baubles, so to speak, then you would go for your shack baubles, doodled in the shack with Barb, and the item code for that is 11674. And everything so far that Deborah's used is in the half price sale.
Wow, what's not to like?
Exactly. Okay, so let's have where we're going now then.
So I've popped my mask that I'd cut over my image. And now I'm going to brush a little black ink around the outside. I tend to use archival for this on designer paper because it's already got a bit of a coating on, and I find the water-based, the dye-based inks like oxides and inks, and they don't kind of stick as well.
There's no purchase to it.
That's the word, Whereas the archival with the permanent ink does. And actually, you don't need a lot for this. The other tip on this technique is to brush outwards from the center, and you can get, if you hold it well down, you can get quite a bit of pressure on these brushes. You could do this with a sponge as well if you wanted it darker and just sponge it out, but I like the soft effect of the brushing.
I think, as Barb says, once you add it, you can't take it away. And I mean, the stencil brushes, we've got, these are definitely in the half price sale. So the item number for the stencil brushes, I'm just going to sneak those into the side.
I'm going to be buying another set of these. I love them. Every time they're on offer, I get another set.
Have you seen it? $10.99.
That's the result.
Okay. So the item code for the brush is 30006. Now, I'm standing here next to Deborah, and I can see Deborah brought her supplies with her today, obviously for the demos, and you brought a pot that has. I'm
sorry. Sorry.
Let's have a look at this. So this is like a bouquet of brushes, isn't it?
I love it.
Okay.
I'm really lazy and I don't clean my brushes. Barb's got the same, I think.
There we go. Right, how many are in there? I mean, Barb always says always keep one for yellow, and this would be the perfect opportunity to stock up on the stencil brushes.
Yes, and separate ones for oxides and distress inks.
And Barb also has a set for paints as well. The acrylic paints,
I haven't got that part. Acrylic paints make me nervous.
Oh, no.
I can't do. Those of you that have seen my cards know I can't do grungy, messy. I come out in a rash when I've got paints. Nervous rash.
Right. So you're just
sorry.
There's me. Went too quick. There we go.
Apologies, everybody. Sorry.
So what you're doing is you're just gradually building up those layers.
Yeah.
And you've got 4 different sizes of brushes in there, haven't you? So there we go. It's a bit of a pickle, that overhead camera sometimes.
Okay. So let's do a bit of a reveal.
Ooh.
So it doesn't actually look like I've got that much.
No, it just looks a little bit moody.
Little bit. You can see it at the top where it's paler. It doesn't look so much down here. But if you peel that off,
wow.
See?
That is a real reveal, isn't it?
It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's just a little bit of darkness with that.
Makes the center light.
Yes.
Because of course, I mean, you can lighten designer paper with an eraser pencil, but it can get a bit, if you're not adding color back in, it can look a bit scruffy.
Yeah.
But actually this, just a little bit. And as I say, the great thing about the mass material is because it's sticky, it's stuck down, you can always lift a bit of it up and see how far you've got. And then as long as you don't lift it, the whole thing up, just lift a bit up, peel it back a bit, you can see how far you've got.
Yeah.
And where else to go.
Oh, so Jilly's just sent a message through backstage, and she said, technology. I've got plenty of voice in my head. I can't have Jilly in my head as well. And she said, love the mountain range in the background.
Oh, yes, because, these.
Yeah, but I suppose it's picked up the colour, hasn't it,
has.
from the designer paper, because you've got a little bit of darkness on there.
And that's why kind of choose your designer paper carefully. But I'm sure friends at home who've already got the designer papers will have lots of bits that fit this size. You know, you don't have to cut into a new piece of card. Use one of those offcuts. I've got loads all stored in my folder. So you can just look through your folder, find colours that work, that look a bit landscapey.
So you actually use all your scraps?
Yeah. I've paid money for those. I'm such a cheapskate.
When I used to cut, I've got a box. I'll come back to that. I'll come back to that. But
you never do. I used to do that, but actually, I use the my folders over there. But I use the
Clarity A5 folders.
No, the 8x8 folders for my papers.
Yeah.
And all my scraps are in that with the right colour. So when I'm looking for the paper, I can find. I know where it is. I did bring it, but I've left it in my bag.
Right. Okay.
Anyhow.
So where do we go from here?
So all you need to do really is then just add a little colour into it.
Okay. And what did you use to add the colour
I
on
used
this particular?
Pergolina pencils. They're my favourites. I love them. And they'll be half price as well, won't they? But the tip for adding colour, this one's not so bad.
I'm just going to show you a little trick, because we have, I think this will work. Look, Jan Kenworthy says, was the ink blue or black used over the mask just now?
Good question. Actually, you could use either, but I use the black. I use my black archival.
Right, okay.
Because that's always out on my desk.
So black, but you could get away with using the blue.
You could use blue, any dark colour. It depends how dark you want it to go. You've got choices.
I suppose it depends on the colour palette, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you've gone for maybe something more summery or more bright, then you may want to use something for that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
There we go.
That's cool.
Hang on. There we go. Zara's replied.
Thanks, Zara.
Right, hang on.
Way ahead of me.
I've got to get rid of this now. There we go. Right, don't click anything else, Paul. Okay. Jim showed us this the other day, that you could bring up the little questions.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I use black, but you know, if you've got a greeny scene paper, you might want to use a dark green ink pad. It's all personal choice. If you didn't want it quite as dark, you could use something like watering can, one of the grades.
Yeah.
So they all work. It's just about, I've always got my black ink pad on my desk. So it's easy,
it's quick and easy to grab.
So on this one, I've coloured the shepherds with pergoliners and the star with the gold metallic pen.
With the Posca pens or the gel pens?
The gel pens.
Ah, the Pergamano gel pens.
The gel pen. So that's easy enough. You just colour that in.
Nice.
The trick on designer paper, it's like parchment. When you want to add the colour in, you've got to take the colour out of the background first.
Okay.
As I say, this one's not so dark. Whereas if you look at my original, actually the pattern on the card is
more intense,
darker,
isn't it?
Yeah. But all you need to do is one of the
that's the Faber-Castell ink erasers.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then literally just work over your shepherds.
And that won't affect your embossed line art?
No, you need to be a bit careful because it can make your embossing go a bit dull. And if you take the top off your embossing, it'll pick up the colour. You can. I don't know if you can see on this one, but actually the lines on the shepherds here look brown because I took. Do you want to offer that up? Because I got a bit carried away with it. Can you see this one here? Can you see it looks brown rather than black? And that's because you
took off the black line art and
I took the shine off it, and then
hang on a minute, I've got to stop you there.
What have I done now?
No. Jilly's just put in the chat the price of those gel pens. Okay, it's a pack of 7 of the gel pens. So you get gold, silver, copper, pink, purple, blue, and green. Okay, £7.88. So that is just over £1 a pen,
Hey,
isn't
we're
it?
getting good at these
I know.
calculations. Here you go.
That
Here's
was
the
an
pens.
easyish one. Okay, so these are lovely though. I
They're
really
great.
do like these.
They're absolutely brilliant. And just work so well on paper because they're opaque.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, obviously they're pergamano, but as you say, they're not necessarily just for parchment craft. And sometimes when you're making a card, I know sort of back in the day, I used to often I'd put my work onto a black card blank and then I'd have to put an insert in the side. But if you've got those metallic gel pens, you can write on the inside as well.
Yep, it's true. So then all you need to do is just colour in with your Pergaliner pencils. I use the pencils.
Which are the wax-based ones?
The wax-based ones. But actually, blended them. So use 2 colours just to get a bit of blending.
Yeah.
But to be honest, that you can blend the A and B together as well, I've discovered.
Yeah, we were doing that at the parchment retreat. Linda was telling us how to do that at the parchment retreat.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then just a quick black mount.
Okay. So you've just taken another scrap from your scrap collection.
Yeah, I've got loads of black card. Just pop it on that. And then on the card front. Now, on this one, I've used an embedder. Do you want to look at the embedders?
Yeah. Okay, so we've got the...
Do you know what? For simple cards, I'm just thinking, oh, there's quite a few techniques on that, aren't there?
There is indeed. So we've got the embedders on the show. There we go. Gilly's beat me to it.
Fantastic.
£6.50. Okay, so with the embedders, the item code on those, we've got various different shapes, but you've gone for the squares and the rectangles.
Yep.
So we've gone for the mixed pack, £6.50. I would say, even if you've got a pack of these as well, I would definitely, for me, the embedders are like groovy guards in parchment. You always misplace your groovy guard. So if you go to our website and you just type in embedders, we've got the squares and the rectangles, we've got the circles and the ovals, the hexagons and the octagons, and then we've got the nested squares and the nested circles, and they're another sort of real game changer. That I'm sure Barb's done a YouTube using the embedders. During one of the shacks or something like that.
They did them in the shack, most definitely, with the nested ones. The other great thing about the nested ones is the very smallest, you get the very smallest infill ones, which are smaller than the smallest square one in the main pack.
Yes,
does that make sense?
Yeah, all of the squares. So if you've got the original squares and rectangles and you go for the nested squares, they are different sizes to what's in here.
Yes.
That was done on purpose. So you're getting multiple uses on
but
those.
That's the smallest one in the standard set. But the smallest one in the nested is smaller.
Yeah.
Which is really handy if you've got a little image you want to embed for. I use these all the time.
The little 4x4 card blanks as well.
Yes.
They'd be perfect for that, wouldn't they?
So anybody who reads my blog will be like, oh, blimey, she's got an embedder.
She's got an embedder. I wonder whether I've got any behind the scenes. I'm not sure whether I got the nested ones there. You talk amongst yourselves. I'm just going to walk around.
I'll just carry on here, shall I? Okay. Quick embedder reminder, and I know we've all done this lots of times, but I always think it's useful. So grab your embedder and a bit of double-sided, I'm getting used to this overhead, double-sided, doubled over masking tape on the back and pop it on your card front. Just line it up.
Masking tape's in the sale, just saying.
And the 4 packs of 4 are great value anyway.
Yes. Yeah, look, £5.98. So that is £1, just under £1.50, isn't it? Wrong.
Yeah.
Well, good at this. I'm going to shut up because I'm going to make a boo-boo at some point with my
I'm going to keep my hand here because this is all white.
Yes.
So I've turned it over. So my embedder's here on the front of my card.
Right. Okay.
And I'm working on the inside front. Now let me just grab my tricks because this is what works for me.
Okay.
I'll rub it over with a tumble dry sheet. Same as the parchers do.
Yeah,
I find it just makes the embossing tool slide a bit more easily.
Doesn't it?
It's amazing what a difference it makes.
Doing the groovy templates the other day, and I was showing how you could use the groovy plates with paper and card. And if you didn't wipe the paper, it really did
Yeah,
resist.
you feel it.
Yeah.
Okay. I use these are called bone folders. They're just plastic. And you can get them online.
Yeah.
Dirt cheap.
Yeah, I mean, we don't stock them, yeah.
And they often come in a pack of 2 with a bigger one as well. But I like this little curved one for this.
Okay.
You could use something like a Pritt stick for this bit. Make sure the lid's on.
Yeah, or you could use you want like a Baron, don't you?
Because I know you and Barb do it with your fingers, but I can't manage that. I can't get enough pressure on to manage it. So what I do, I start out here at the edge of the card.
Yeah.
And then I push in and I'll hit the embedder.
And you're doing this on a hard surface,
Hard
aren't
surface.
you?
I'm on a
the A3 black mat. Yeah.
And then I run up and down the side.
Right.
Which just locates it for me. And then I'm going to turn my paper.
There we go. You can just see that.
Yeah.
There.
Same again, slide in. You need a bit of pressure on it.
Yeah.
Just to find it. So go around all 4 sides. Keep it on the paper underneath. Then you're not going to dislodge your embedder from the front of your card.
And hope that your paper's clean.
Clean.
And not got black ink on it.
Minor detail, Paul. How often do I go, oh, flip?
Goodness me.
And then the Groovy tool number 2.
Yeah.
Which has just got the small ball on the end. And then, actually, it doesn't matter if you slip because it won't show on the other side.
It's like the groovy plates, isn't it?
Fantastic.
It's really weird that even though you may jump into the area, then it doesn't mark. It marks the inside of the car, but
just
it doesn't
a little bit.
the front,
but
does it?
It's not a deep groove in it.
Yeah.
Oh, see, look, I've done it again now.
You're doing that on
I'm
purpose.
demonstrating.
Yes, absolutely.
Purely for demonstration purposes.
Yeah. So I can see we've got a question from the lovely Humberta all the way over in the United States.
Oh, hi, Humberta.
So Humberta has asked, with the embedders, wouldn't it be easier to just put it through the die cutting machine with an embossing mat? Okay, so it's a really good question. You could do that. Okay. But from experience, what we found is that because of the thinness of the material being used, you would get an impression. But by using that Groovy number 2 tool or a bone folder, you get a deeper impression, don't you?
Yeah, it's much sharper.
Because it pushes right in.
And that's the difference I was going to say, is using the embossing tool really sharpens that crease, that edge on it.
Yeah, because even when you use the bone folder to come in, we could see the bone folder was there, that it had created a thing. But it wasn't until you went in with the number 2 tool that all of a sudden it made it a lot sharper and more prominent.
The bone folder is basically you're locating the embedder, so you can see where to go in with your embossing tool.
Yeah.
That's the trick. And actually it's really quick to do. Once you've got the hang of it.
Yeah.
Took me a little while to get my head around it. And once I discovered using a bone folder for it to locate it.
Just to locate it.
Just so you can see where the edges are to go in with your ball tool then.
Right, so let me go. Where's that message gone? There we go. So no, it's a very good question. And you would think that's how it's done. I remember when Barb first did the embedders on TV, I can't think who it was she was with. It may have been Martin.
It might have been Martin, I think,
and
who just loves them.
Yeah, and he was looking and said, "Well, where's your machine? Where's your die cutting machine to do it?" And you don't need it. So, yeah, it's magical.
Yeah, I love them. People who see my cards on Clarity Worldwide will know that I love a CAS card. Kind of less is more. I think basically. Oh, sorry, clean and simple.
Clean, right? Okay.
Basically lazy, I think. Sorry, I can't be bothered to do all the. It's interesting though when I try and do something that's much more intricate and grungy. If I try and copy somebody like Sam or Sonia on the design team, honestly, I make complete horlicks of it.
See, I mean, I like
it's interesting what style. We all have. That's what I love about the design team. We've got such a range of styles between us.
We have indeed. Yeah. So, and then just to finish that off, so we can see now.
Stick your image in the middle.
Yeah. And you can just see you've got your embedded frame there.
They're lovely if you're doing a 1-layer card, so just a stamped image.
Yeah.
On here, nothing, and do all that on the front. often they can look a bit empty, even by my standards. But just being able to emboss a frame around
Yeah.
it, just that finishing touch.
It really does make a difference, doesn't it? So, for example, if you put this on the back of that card, if you flip that card over, you card
Oh,
blank.
yes.
So we can see there, it looks lovely on a white piece of card, doesn't it? Just like so. So
Sort of so,
nothing
yeah.
wrong
No,
with that,
that looks
at all.
fine.
You can put a little sentiment on
Yep.
there. You can use some
Yep.
of our sticker booklets that
Yep.
are also in the half price sale. Also on the show, we've got those Christmas stamps. I nearly forgot about those.
Oh, Barb's.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I'm going to use those. Well, gosh, it's nearly 11
I know.
o'clock.
So,
But you can see this is the one layer that I just masked, and I've just popped the frame around it. So this is the one I blogged
and then
yesterday.
you continued the...
I took the line out beyond using mask material. I cut across the stamp
Right.
into and cut a piece of mask material that extended out but followed the line of the landscape. And then I could brushing above and below with this masked off.
Clever. And you've used
Easy
our
peasy.
sticker words on there for quick and easy Noel. But we've also got these stamps on the show. Okay, so these are Barb's Christmas sentiments, and it's actually Barb's handwriting. Okay, $9.99.
What's to say? What's to say?
She's speechless. Looked at me.
I see that I've just noticed the question in the chat. First off, thanks Humberto, says it's not lazy, it's smart doing cast cards. Thank you, love you. But actually, there's another question saying, can we use the light wave to help find the embedder? And I think that does work. I don't have one, but
it does.
I think it does.
No, it would only. It depends on the like the grain or the color of the card,
or the thickness.
The thickness of the card can have an impact on it. Yeah. And sometimes some of the colors are more deeply woven, so it can be more intense.
Yes.
If you know what I mean.
Yes. So the light doesn't penetrate.
Yeah. So, but you could still use it. I would say with most cardstock, with the light panel underneath, it would definitely illuminate where that embedder is to help you find the edge.
It.
Yeah.
I think you still need to use something like a bone folder or a Baron
or your finger
just
to get going.
Just to find the get it set in first into
and then
the
take it off of the light panel and use the groovy tool, because you wouldn't want to put too much pressure on the light panel.
Okay.
With the groovy tool.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's a lovely,
sense.
Great question from Tally. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks, Tally. Good point.
And the light panels are in the half price.
They're half price in the sale as well. I might have to. I'm feeling a need to maybe head downstairs.
I will say the A5 ones. I know we had a small amount of stock, and once the A5 ones have gone, they have gone.
Right.
Okay. So if you're looking.
So what's the next size?
So the next one is your A4 one.
Okay.
Okay. So. You could use either of those. Many of our friends at home that are into parching, they work on their workspace with the A4, and then if they're going to visit a friend or they're going to a craft club, they take the little A5
portable.
one. And they both come with foam, like a translucent foam, and a case as well. But as I say, the A5 ones, once they have gone, they have gone.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. Well,
that hour's over.
I know, and I've only done one
demo. 2 demos, she said. 2 demos. I thought, no chance. I can talk for England. So, thank you very much for joining us for this hour. If you've just tuned in halfway or a quarter of the way in, don't worry, because you can go back and watch on our Clarity Craft YouTube page. And
I will blog the demos I don't get to.
Right.
So we'll decide what we're doing this afternoon.
Yeah. Which one do you want to do?
But all of the others will go on my blog, Deborah's Crafty.
When we come back at 2 o'clock, we will definitely do a lot more demoing in that, because many of our friends will be joining us again, I'm hoping, for 2 o'clock, even though it's Friday afternoon. So
or they've watched this one and gone, I'm not coming back.
No, I'm not coming back. Or they'll watch on catch up. So we'll have a sort of a shorter recap of the products during the 2 o'clock show. And then I'm going to go and sit in the corner, and Deborah can just get on and play, basically. So thank you very much for joining us.
No, thanks, Paul. Great fun. Thanks to you.
Everyone at home, and lovely Jilly for popping up all the different codes. And Lynn P says, Paul, stop please with all the bargains. And I hope you're putting that in when if you are placing an order, I hope you're going to put Deborah made me buy it.
Oh,
I always get the blame.
Sorry, not sorry.
I always get the blame. Paul made me buy. Was it parchment tree? Paul's fault. Paul's fault.
Well, you're only doing it for the company. It's completely altruistic.
No, I'm doing
Paul.
it for our
I'm
friends at
doing it for
home.
friends who get good
Yeah.
bargains.
No, not just that, the enjoyment out of crafting.
The pleasure. Actually,
Yeah.
you know, crafting's really good for your mental health.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us again. We're going to go and have a coffee and a lie down in the dark room. And we will be back with you at 2 o'clock. So again, thank you to Ginny. I know the lovely
everybody.
design team were in the room as well. And yeah, we'll see you at 2 o'clock.
Yep.
So
Brilliant.
now I've got to turn it off now.
Take